Assalamualaikum and good day. Welcome to PQS 552 Construction Technology 4. We are going to learn Chapter 1, which is Earthwork. Let's jump right in. The objective of this chapter are to be able to identify the general consideration before the commencement of earthwork and to be able to explain the various techniques for excavation. Without further ado, let's jump into our lesson. Earthwork is defined as the process whereby the surface of the earth is excavated and transported to and compacted at another location with the use of wide range of earthwork plant. Plant use has different size, capacity, and level of efficiency. The scale of excavation works range from small works such as the excavation of ditches and trenches for drainage and pits and trenches for foundation to the large earthworks such as highway and dams. It carried out at an early stage in construction project. Completion of the earthwork within the scheduled time is often key to the completion on time of the whole project. The success of earthwork always depends on an adequate site investigation and preparing practical and satisfactory design of the earthwork. And another one is the choice and efficient use of the correct type and size of plant to meet the particular requirements of the site. For this chapter, we are focusing on 1. General consideration that must be considered before the commencement of earthwork, and 2. The techniques of excavation and their choices. The general consideration that must be considered for earthwork are: first is site consideration and second is ground condition. An excavation is the first step of construction. It refers to the process of removing soil or rock from its original location, typically in a preparation for constructing foundations, basements, and underground utility lines, and for grading of the ground surface. Excavated material required for backfill or grading fill is stockpiled on the site for subsequent use. Unneeded material is removed from the site for the appropriate disposal. There are various techniques of excavation which are bulk excavation, rock excavation, trench excavation, support of excavation, and embankments. Under general consideration, we have nature of excavation, availability of work area, disposal of soil, existing services and structures that need to be considered for the site consideration. For the first site consideration, which is nature of excavation, the situation of the excavation, whether for reduced level, roadworks, trenches, basement or pits, have to consider the time available for excavation and the sequence of completed earthworks. A detailed plan of the movement of spoil and plant will need to be prepared in the case of large cut and fill operations. Area of fill requires some form of retaining wall or drainage prior to depositing the spoil, especially when planning the sequence of operation. Extended works such as trenches for pipeline can be divided into sections and may progress simultaneously. The second site consideration is availability of work area. Work areas is total space available for the manipulation of plant and storage of materials. It does not include areas for site administration or accommodation. The total work area should be indicated on a site plan so that movement of plant and materials can be efficiently planned. On certain sites, the work area is sufficiently to allow sites of deep excavation to be bettered to the safe angle of repose, thereby giving a work area free from obstruction. The angle of repose is the steeper slope of the unconfined material measured from the horizontal plane on which the material can be heaped without collapsing. This can be seen by quantity of such material was tipped on the flat surface, it will flow out to form a conical heap. The material within the cone supports itself due to internal friction. The angle of the side of the cone is known as the angle of repose. The third side consideration is disposal of soil. The disposal of soil is achieved by one of the following three methods. Storage in spoil heaps for use later or removal at a later stage, or whether immediate use as backfilling elsewhere on the site, or immediate removal from site to other destination or dumping areas. When the material is used for backfilling, it must be suitable for the particular operation. This should involve separating the cut material into two categories, which are the suitable for filling and the other for removal or other earthworks. Consideration should be given to the position of such spoil heaps in order. They should position that they do not interfere with the access to work areas or become danger or nuisance because of damping in the bad weather. Consideration must also be given to the stresses induced by spoil heaps because of the weight caused by it on structures or services below ground or adjacent to the spoil heap. The removal from the site may involve the control of lorries to allow maximum utilization of earth-moving plant. Some consideration must also be given to the spillage of soil when leaving the public highways, must be kept clean at all times. Such soil must not exceed the top level of dump truck bucket and cover the top area as well. Next, we have existing services and structures. Existing structures adjacent to excavation areas will require support during excavation. This may take any of the following forms. The first one is cut-off walling. It is actually a thin watertight wall of clay or concrete built up from a cut-off trench to reduce seepage. It is also known as a vertical slurry wall with a low permeability to minimize the groundwater flow. One of the examples of cut-off walling is impermeable diaphragm wall. The second one is strutting and shoring. For example, using a sheet pile, it is constructed by a pile in a row of piles driven side by side to retain earth or prevent water seepage. The next one is underpinning, which is the process of strengthening and stabilizing the foundation of an existing building or other structure. This one is the example of cut-off walling and sheet piles and also underpinning. The second general consideration, which is ground condition, the information obtained from the site investigation will assist the following factors. Ground support required during excavation, method of keeping the excavation free from water, and plant to be used. Consideration also must be given to the change in soil stability due to adverse weather conditions, for example, heavy rainfalls. The ground support required will depend on the strength soil, the depth of excavation, and the length of time that the excavation remains open. That will be the end of this recorded video. Thank you for your kind attention. I will end the recorded video with a quote from the founder of Apple. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Bye guys.